to Central Iowa Fishing here today. Todd Reed, your host. We're out here on Rock Creek Lake. I brought my good friend here with me.
I'm Chad Pedig.
Both from Marshalltown. Rock Creek Lake's just south of Marshalltown, about 20 minutes. We came down this morning to see if we could find some bluegills and crappies to catch through the ice. This lake is known for its panfish population, as well as bass, catfish, and there's even a few walleye roaming around as well. But today, our focus on Central Iowa Fishing is catching those crappies and bluegills through the ice. Well, first thing, of course, ice fishing trip. We set out and I was drilling a series of holes out here. This is a place I frequent quite a bit in the wintertime. It's a nice drop off here at Rock Creek. And it's just a matter of finding, or hopefully finding, where the fish are holding, what depths we're holding. Right now I'm in about 15 foot of water. And Chad was following up with the Vexillars and he did notice quite a few fish in these holes. So, this is the first place we stopped. So he saw some fish on the Vexillar screen. So of course we're going to drop some baits down and see if we can't get those fish to bite this morning. Chad's hooked up already. That's a good sign, guys. Good sign. Good sign. And I hooked up also. Chad with a nice bluegill. Oh, that's a nice sign. First few minutes using the Vexillars. Saw some fish on the screen and we've already picked up a couple fish. Chad with a real nice bluegill right there. Oh, there's a nice bite right there. Oh yeah. Boy, that fish was aggressive. Oh, it's a decent crappie too. That's nice. That's a nice crappie right there. Nice white crappie. Start the day. Real nice. I'm just fishing with a plastic bait this morning. Measure him real quick. He's right at 9.5 inches. So, that's a pretty typical crappie here at Rock Creek. Nice year class coming through at this lake right now. A lot of 9 and 10 inchers. So I'm going to get him back down the hole. We might keep a few fish later, but get him back swimming in the hole for another day. Last couple fish have really come up on the Vexillars and just crushed this jig. They like what they're seeing so far. Using kind of a purplish and pink color this morning. The water is really clear at Rock Creek right now. The best I've seen it in years, really. So really nice to see so far what we've done this morning. A few fish already on the ice and a couple nice fish. A nice crappie and a nice bluegill too. Let's see if he can. There's a fish. Oh, that's a nice biter right there. Yeah, he's pulling. There he is. That's a crappie. You can see him through the ice. All right. Boy, that fish right there ate that jig. That's when you know you're giving them something that they really like. That jig is all the way in its mouth, right in the top. He just gulped it right in. Again, using tiny, tiny jig and just a soft plastic bait right now in the morning. Right now these fish don't seem to need a live bait situation, a spiker or waxworm. They're hitting this plastic bait just incredibly well right now. Oh, that's a beaut, Chad. Nice, that's a white crappie there. Let's put him on the board. That's going to be close to 10, maybe more.
Yes, yeah, right about 10.
Nice crappie. White crappie, you can see the bars on that fish. Up and down bars.
Pretty typical for a Rock Creek.
Exactly, perfect fish. Makes for a good meal too. I want to keep a few today. Nice fish. All right, we mentioned Vexillar this morning, and it's definitely my best tool out here on the ice. And it's pretty simple. This is the water column. Starts up here at 0, moves all the way around, and this red, big red splotch right here is the bottom. So we're in about 15 foot of water right now. My jig is way up here just for demonstration purposes. And as that jig goes down, you'll see that green line sinking towards the bottom, sinking towards the bottom, and you can see those fish down below. Every mark on the screen right now is a fish. Fish, 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 fish. All of these marks, and I've got one on right now. All of those marks are fish, and the Vexilar tells you that. It tells you if you have 1 fish down there. It tells you if you have 10, like I had just a few seconds ago. It is an amazing tool that not only tells you how deep of the water you're in, but it tells you exactly how many fish are down there. It tells you how fast you're working your jig, because your jig is so small, but yet the Vexilar picks it up just like it's huge. It's a tool that I won't go fishing without. It's unbelievable. And today, a lot of these fish are suspended. We're fishing out in the middle of nowhere. If there was no water in this lake right now, it would just look like a mud flat. There's nothing out here. There's no weeds. There's no branches. There's no brush piles. There's nothing, just mud. So these fish are coming in suspended. They're coming in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foot above the bottom of the lake floor. So without a Vexilar, you're not going to catch nearly as many fish. There's one. A little better puller. Another crappie. Littler guy. There we go. Felt a little better. Oh yeah. That's a little better one. He liked it. You know, that's kind of a little deal too. We're catching a bunch of littler fish in the school, and I just went down deeper, and I was able to pick up this decent crappie. Got below a lot of the marks on the Vexilar, and a lot of times that's where the bigger ones will hang out. They'll be on the bottom of the school. So once again, the Vexilar came in handy. It's getting a lot of littler fish up, but then went down below the school and picked up this nicer one here. Not a giant, but still a decent fish. Yep, a little over 8 inches, so he'll go for another day. Well, you probably have heard through the mic, it is windy today. And I tell you what, the wind's blowing about 20 miles an hour. Oh, out of the west. And it's about, with the wind chill, it's in the single digits right now. It looks pretty sunny out, but it's single digits. But you know what? That is worth it. Nice crappie. That's a double digit. But yeah, we're the second week of January here, and I hate to say it, but in Iowa, you just never know when the ice fishing season is over. And I just look forward to that next weekend, just hoping there's good ice. And if there's good ice, you're going to find me somewhere on the frozen water trying to catch some of these, no matter what temperature it is. We do have a shack today. We haven't set it up yet and put the heat on, but if that needs to be to keep me out on the ice, we'll do that today. But again, with the wind chill, we're in single digits right now. It might be 20 degrees out, but we've got a west wind. It keeps changing from northwest to southwest to west, and it is cold. But we got some hand warmers, we got some gloves on once in a while, but catching fish like that, having a good time with my buddy Chad here, it's a great day to be out on the ice, even though we're in the single digits with the wind. Was he?
Oh, nice. I shouldn't have messed around with him trying to...
As you noticed today, of course, ice fishing equipment very different than open water equipment. Small rods and reels. I'm using a 23-inch rod right now, which is pretty typical, 20 inches or so. And one thing you'll notice that both Chad and I are using spring bobbers, and there's lots of different brands and lots of different varieties. but basically they're all the same. It's, oh, I'm getting a bite. The spring bobbers, as you saw, that was in my hand, any little bite, any little indication, it just taps. It goes up and down, just like a floating bobber in the summertime would. Spring bobbers are a lot better in ice fishing just because they don't freeze up as easy. If we were using bobber floats like a summertime float, you know, they'd be this big full of ice around them. You know, very cold again today. We're in the single digits with wind. Things are freezing up. These spring bobbers are definitely the deal. So the tackle, the equipment, very different in ice fishing. You definitely have to get some specialized equipment, real small jigs, small poles, small reels, and they're fairly inexpensive. You know, it's kind of like any hobby. You can spend as little as you want to enjoy it, or you can spend as much as you want to enjoy it. Big thing is to spend a little money and get some specialized equipment to help you catch a few fish. Yeah, they stocked walleyes. Actually, last weekend, Brian and David were down here fishing with me, and Brian caught a nice keeper walleye. Yeah, there's a fish. He's pulling. Oh, this is a better crappie, you bet. Yeah, that fish was pulling. This is a black crappie. This is a nicer black crappie. Show you the difference real quick. You know, a lot of people, you know, fish crappies all their life and never realize that there's two different versions or models of the crappie. I'll show you real quick here if we can get one that we had earlier that we had caught. He's frozen solid, ready for the fish market. But you can definitely see the difference. This is the black crappie. It's got just random black spots in the bottom. In the top, you can kind of see these lateral bars. That's what makes it a white crappie, and this is the black crappie. Also, the black crappie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 hard spines on the top. A white crappie will only have 6. Two nice Rock Creek crappies, a white crappie and a black crappie. There's one. Littler guy, I think. Little bluegill. You know, I do frequent Rock Creek quite a bit. It's not too far from Marshalltown, my home place, but you know, the bluegills in this lake are nice. We haven't seen too many of the nicer ones yet today, but the sampling of bluegill in this lake have really increased the last couple years. I've really noticed it ice fishing. I don't pan fish a whole lot in the summertime, but wintertime, the population of bluegill in this lake have exploded. There are some real nice quality bluegills right now in Rock Creek. So if you have a chance to get down here later this winter, boy, put it on your list, because the panfish in this lake can be awesome at times. And right now, it's awesome. It's a fairly large lake for central Iowa. It's over 400 acres. Another nice bluegill. About 400 acres, and it does not have a lot of structure in it. It has some long points to it. It has a couple nice drop-offs. That's kind of what we're fishing today, a drop-off into a basin area. What the DNR has done to this lake, though, is added big chunk rock to a lot of the banks. It makes it ideal for pan fishing in the springtime, summertime. The bass population in this lake is real good right now. It has some real monsters in it. I've seen those at bass weigh-ins and things like that. The lake is in pretty good shape right now. The DNR also is doing a watershed program for this lake. And I do believe that is why this lake has really cleaned up in the last few years. The DNR has purchased a lot of land and made some silt ponds upstream from Rock Creek area. And it's really become a top-notch lake in this part of the state. There are people travel from Cedar Rapids, Des Moines area, Waterloo area to come here and fish. Again, it's a bigger lake for central Iowa, just over 400 acres. So it is a fun place to come out and fish at summertime in the boat, or on wintertime. There's several places to access it from the boat ramp areas. If you have a four-wheeler or snowmobile, those are always nice to have in the wintertime too to use. So a great lake. It's got all the amenities you want in the summertime, the large playgrounds for the kids. It's got one of the largest campgrounds in the state of Iowa here. Just a great place. Bait shop that rents out boats in the summertime. It's really the total package here in central Iowa. A great little lake. If you're in the area, have relatives in the area, make it a point to stop here. It's a great place, and it's got everything. Bass, crappies, bluegills, and recently the DNR has started to stock walleyes. They're not too common, but just last weekend a buddy of mine caught a nice keeper walleye out of here, about 2-pounder. So they're in here, they're roaming around too, so yet another species of fish to come and try your luck on. So Rock Creek Lake near Kellogg, Iowa, just south of Marshalltown. Put it on your list of things to do. Yeah. There you go, Chad. That's a puller. Seen it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, nice crappie. Yeah.
Right.
Real nice one, Chad. That's a double digit.
Beauty.
There. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, this is a good fish. Whoa. Whoa. This is a good fish. I do not know what it is, but it's a good one. It's the hardest pulling one I've seen today. Could be a bass or walleye, maybe. Oh my gosh. That is humongous. Wow, look at that crappie. That's a giant, folks. Oh my gosh. That is a giant. An absolute giant crappie. A black crappie. Wow. That is a giant. That's a giant for any lake, especially right here in central Iowa. That fish is, oh boy, that one is about 13.5 inches. What a giant. What a beaut. I'm gonna put her back down in the hole so she can make some more. That's too big to keep. That might sound silly to some, but those are the big ones that make lots more. That giant is going back for another day. Wow. There she goes. What a crappie. I hooked that thing, started fighting it, and the last thing on my mind was a crappie. Wow, I thought maybe it was a bass or a walleye. That thing is huge. That's the biggest crappie I've ever caught out of this lake. Awesome. Awesome fish. Wow. Oh. There's one. Littler guy, I think. Oh, maybe not. Oh, nice. Nice bluegill. Definitely. He wasn't fighting real hard right away, and then he kind of took off. He decided he better start fighting. Gave me a nice little battle. That's a nice gill. Probably a 8-incher or so. That's a nice one. Yeah. I'm going to add him to the dinner pile, I think. There he is. There's a fish. That's a decent crappie. Switched up and tried a spoon on these fish. There's so many down there in this school that I thought, you know, maybe this spoon will help me catch a little bigger one, target those bigger fish. And you know, that's I don't know, I wouldn't call it a bigger crappie, but it's a decent one anyway, and it's nice to try different things. Just a little spoon. Right there with some maggots or spikes on there, so a decent crappie. Little jigging spoon. Good one, Chad?
Yeah, another
Another nice one. Chad's hooked up there. Just switched to a waxworm, right, Chad?
Yeah.
Might have something going there. It's getting mid-morning. It's probably 10 or 10:30 today, and you know, he switched up to a waxworm, a little bigger bait, and he's caught a few nice crappies here in the last minute or so. That's a nice sign for mid-morning. But my theory definitely, or I should say my hypothesis, was not correct. There he is. That's a little better one here. Yeah, crappie. There's a nice crappie. Nicer one on the spoon. That's a dandy. Chad's hooked up. Nice gill. I'm hooked up. Nice crappie. Nice
Littler crappie. Seems to be a bit of a school around there right now.
That's a good one. What are you using for bait, Chad?
I'm using just a jig and wax worms.
All right. Seems to be the deal today. My Vexilar is lit up like a Christmas tree right now. Yeah, they are in this area. Another little gill. Bunch of gills are schooling up in this depth right now. Good one, Chad?
Yeah.
A little, got a bluegill here.
Yeah, little gill.
He's pretty small. There we go. That fish was right on the bottom. Interesting to see what this is. Oh, it's a little better bluegill, actually. And he got off. Right at the hole. Perfect release. Oh, there's a good one. That's a good fish. Keep pressure on him. Keep your rod bent. And keep him coming. There he comes. Oh, nice bluegill. Yeah, that's more like it right there, folks. Oh, yeah. That's more like the Rock Creek bluegills that I know. Bigger in your hand. Beautiful coloration on that fish. That might be the prettiest fish all day. Yeah, that big crappie is pretty nice too, though. That's a nice Rock Creek bluegill. Yeah, he was right on the bottom. Once again, saw just a little flash down there on the Vexilar. Went all the way down to the bottom. Worked it over with a jig and live bait with some spikes. And just kept working him. He came up and gave me a nice little bite. So that's a good sign. We've caught quite a few smaller bluegills today. And maybe the big ones are starting to come around now. Maybe it's their breakfast time.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. That's another nice one. That's a brother to the one I just caught, I believe. Yeah, that's a real nice fish, Chad.
A little bit bigger than the hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a dandy. That's bigger than the one I just got.
Right on the bottom.
Yep.
Had to fight my way through that school right around 8.5 inches.
Yeah, that's a beautiful bluegill right there. Spikes or waxworms, Chad?
That was on spikes.
Cool.
But we're marking a lot of fish, had to get through the school to get down past the small ones and get to the bigger ones.
Yeah, that's a dandy. That'll make some nice meat for a meal. We'll keep that guy. Perfect. Nice job, Chad. There he is. This is another puller.
Double?
Little one though. Chad's hooked up too. Yeah, the school's back and somebody turned on the switch to bite. We've caught several fish here in just the last 30-40 seconds. We've both caught a nice bluegill. Chad's working on another one. Oh, nice crappie. All right, the crappies are back. You just never know what you're gonna get when you're fishing these schooling fish out here in these deep water basins. You know, Rock Creek's a pretty shallow lake, so we're in about 15 foot of water, but that's pretty deep for Rock Creek. And I just hooked into something big. Oh, it's pulling drag. Oh yeah. This is another big fish, folks. What could it be this time? Bass, walleye, catfish. Catfish are in Rock Creek too. Here it comes. Oh, it's a bass. It's a bass. Come here. First bass today. Yeah, that's not a bad fish right there. Probably, I don't know, 12 or 13 incher. Not quite a keeper. Rock Creek's limit on bass is 15 inches. So this one definitely gets right back in the hole. You know, he's a 12 or 13 incher maybe. Big chunky bass, but that shows you the nice healthy bass population in this lake, as I mentioned before. So DNR law 15 inches in this lake, so he's got to get right back in the water. We'll do that quick today because it is cold, and there he goes. So perfect. Nice release for a bass today. And you know, speaking of rules, of course the DNR places those rules for different lakes and different species of fish, and it's to protect that species of fish. So when you are on the water, you know, in central Iowa or anywhere, make sure you know the rules of the lake or the river that you're on and follow those rules the best you can. You know, bass in this lake must be 15 inches or more. Any other fish, it doesn't have a length limit. Something else to keep in mind, a few years ago, the DNR placed a 25 fish limit on panfish. So you can keep 25 bluegills a day and 25 crappies a day. So make sure and abide by those rules too. Just some things to keep you safe on the water so you don't get any unnecessary fines or tickets, and to keep that fish population healthy in that body of water that you choose to fish. So know the rules, follow the rules, and keep our lakes and rivers a great place to fish here in Iowa. There he is. All the way down at the bottom. He's a little smaller guy though. He's a good puller. I don't think he's real big though. Oh, nice crappie. Yeah, that's a nice one. There we go. Nice crappie. Just your typical average size keeper here. We've had quite a day here at Rock Creek Lake, Chad and I, and you know, what do you think, Chad? And what explains what we did today?
Well, I think the location was the key. Finding that drop off, we found the right depth, and it was just school after school.
It was. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. Location, location, location. Rock Creek Lake has a lot of nice places to fish during the wintertime. Chad and I drilled a lot of holes today, and we were able to really pinpoint where those schools were coming in on this deep water basin. Crappies, bluegills, even caught a bass today. Several fish coming through the hole, and like Chad said, it was school after school after school. A pretty unique situation. You know, we were a little scared driving down here this morning. What has happened all week, it's been 40s, even 50 degrees a couple days ago here in central Iowa, and a big cold front came through. Wind chill temperatures today were in the single digits. We weren't quite sure driving down here what today was going to be like, but the show must go on. So we set up in an area where I've had some luck in the past during midwinter and late winter situations, and the fish were here. All about the location, and it was windy, it was cold, but using our equipment, our power auger sure helps. The ice is nice. It's about 9 inches deep right now. The Vexilars played a key role today, Chad. How many fish would we have caught without a Vexilar today?
With the electronics, you know where your bait is in relation to the fish, and that was the key.
Yeah.
Sometimes we had to go lower, deeper. Sometimes we had to come up, and especially trying to pick out those bigger fish. We had to work our way through the school of fish, and definitely electronics helped us with that.
Yeah. You know, Vexilar is key. If you get out on the ice, try to get your hands on one. Very key to our success today, no doubt about it. It helps you find the fish that are below the ice. It helps you pinpoint what depth those fish are holding at. And most importantly, it helps you see how the fish are reacting to your baits, whether they come right up towards it or they shy away. You can adjust your jig color, jig size, even your jigging technique. A Vexilar tells you everything you want to know under the ice. It's been a great day, Chad. We've only been out here maybe 2.5, 3 hours, and we've caught so many fish. We're taking a little break right now, but it was an awesome day. Glad you could join us right here on Central Iowa Fishing.